Elbows up, Canada. Canada strong, Canada united against the Trump regime, as Donald Trump is now saying he's imposing 25% tariffs on automobiles across the world, including Canada. Canada's saying that's a direct attack, Donald. And if you thought the boycott was bad already on what Canada's doing, standing up to the United States, just you wait. We're standing up to the Trump regime. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney called Trump's auto tariffs a direct attack on his country. And we're learning facts like this, which we've been talking about on the MeidasTouch network now for several months. We've been predicting this, and it's easy to predict things like this when you speak to the Canadian people and you see how strong and powerful they are and the resistance that they're leading across the world is to the Trump regime. Air travel between U.S. and Canada drops sharply. Flight bookings between Canada and the U.S. are collapsing, according to airline data provider OAG. Compared to this time last year, bookings are down 70% every month through the end of September, according to the firm's analysis. Canada is typically the top source of international visitors to the U.S. Quote, this sharp drop suggests that travelers are holding off on making reservations, likely due to ongoing uncertainty surrounding the broader trade dispute, OAG says. Can I rephrase that for you? I think what Canada's doing is saying, hey, Donald, you've declared war on our country. Let us smack you down, you pathetic little weasel, you. We're not visiting your country while the Trump regime continues to say how they want to annex us and conquer us. We're going to stand up, Canada strong, elbows up. That's what's going down. Use the right language. This isn't just a trade war that Donald Trump has declared. He's declared an actual war on Canada and the people of Canada, and the people of Canada have stood up, put Donald Trump in his place. I'm loving, by the way, the Reddit message boards of Canadians sharing their stories like this. Not gonna lie, I'm living for the pettiness here. It warms my cold, dark heart to see all the American products sitting on the shelves and being donated to the food banks. Viva la Canada. Canada's boycott against anything U.S. going strong. Canada's boycott on U.S. tourism going strong. At all Canadian grocery stores and shops in general, they have the Buy Canada label. And if it ain't Buy Canada, they ain't buying it, and good for them. Seeing the elbows up chocolate right here. People sharing their Costco runs. Costco run 0 U.S. products. Super Premium Plus, cold brew coffee, Chapman's ice cream, made in Canada. This headline from the Globe and Mail we see repeated throughout various media organizations. Buy Canadian movement starts to take a sizable bite out of the U.S. business. People sharing stories like this in Canada. More cancellations. Just spent the morning with my travel agent changing travel plans. We were initially going to visit friends in Phoenix, Arizona, but under their recommendation, we decided to change it to Mexico. The travel agent said they've seen more than a 50% cancellation rate of their U.S. bookings, including bus tours to the States. She told me they have had so many more requests for Canadian tour destinations than ever before, and have totally filled up every East Coast bus tour and are filling a waiting list to get more buses online to Canada. Keep it up, elbows up, everybody. Now, Mark Carney gave a powerful speech today as well about defending the workers in Canada and how Donald Trump's automobile tariffs is a direct attack on Canada and its people. I want to play that for you, but then I also want to play for you our friend Charlie Angus joining protests at the American consulate in Toronto. So, people in Toronto protesting the Trump regime in front of the American consulate, and then the American consulate ordered the police in Toronto to push the protesters away, because that's how big of snowflakes the Americans in the consulate are. They can't handle a protest under the Trump regime. I want to show you what went down there. You're not going to want to miss this. First, Prime Minister Carney's giving a powerful statement right as Donald Trump imposed the 25% automobile tariffs. First, play this clip.
I have the pleasure of being here with Lana Payne, president of Unifor, who will speak to you in a moment. Lana and I were just having a meeting, a pre-scheduled meeting, to discuss the situation in our economy, how we can work together across a range of industries, forestry, aerospace, automobiles, and beyond. During the course of that meeting, President Trump announced 25% tariffs against our auto industry. And this is a direct attack, to be clear, a direct attack on the very workers that I stood in front of, Unifor workers I stood in front of this morning at the Ambassador Bridge, a bridge that is a symbol and a reality up until now of the tight ties between our two countries, ties of kinship, ties of commerce, ties that are in the process of being broken. We will defend our workers. We will defend our companies. We will defend our country. And we will defend it together.
All right, now I got to share with you what went down in Toronto with Charlie Angus and protesters. So Charlie just joined a group of protesters. We're seeing protesters across Canada. If you're living in Canada, you know these are going up everywhere, these protests, at the American consulates, in front of American businesses, wherever you're having these spontaneous protests take place. So here's Charlie Angus. He meets these protesters and he goes, "We in Canada will never kiss the gangster ring of this authoritarian Trump regime." Let's play this one first. Let's play it.
We will never, ever, ever be the 51st state, and why we will never kiss that gangster's ring. I don't care how many times they try and tell us that we can't stand on the streets of our own cities. This is our city. This is our country. This is our democracy, and we will defend it. Elbows up. Elbows up.
Now, just to show you what this protest looked like, here you see the protesters doing the elbows up chant. By the way, Charlie tells me a lot of MeidasTouch fans in this protest, and I want to say what's up to all of you, what's up to all the Canadians protesting. Thank you for standing up and showing a great example, not just in Canada and the rest of the world, but also right here in the U.S. You inspire us with your courage and your strength, and I just so look forward to the day when we get rid of this Trump regime and we could all rejoice and celebrate together. That's what I look forward to. But here are some of the Canadians protesting in front of the American consulate in Toronto. Play this clip.
Elbows up! 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 Elbows up!
Right now, here's the moment where you can see the Toronto police officer goes up to Charlie Angus and the group and says, you know, look, the people up there in the American consulate, they don't want you standing here. He doesn't say this, but they're too big of snowflakes. And then Charlie Angus is like, all right, like, he's being polite. We're a polite people. We'll protest from there. Here, play this clip.
Charlie Angus.
Ruben, nice to meet you. I'm part of the police liaison. Is it possible to go on the outside of the barriers?
On the outside of the barriers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what the concern is? I mean, we're all very,
It's just for
because they'd asked us not to stand on there, which was their property, and we said, yeah, and we've been making sure nobody. But you guys got bikes on their property.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't want one of them taking your bikes out. You know, you don't know what they're going to do up there. So, yeah.
So it's every other protester is going to.
Okay, so you're asking if we're just on the other side of the barricades?
Okay. That's all.
Okay, what's your name?
Ruben Ganeshalan.
Ruben, Charlie Angus. Okay, thank you. Okay, folks, we're going to go on the other side of the barrier, okay? We're going to help Toronto police here so that they don't have to deal with the people upstairs. So we're going to walk over, but this is still our city. This is still our street. But since we were asked politely, which is how we do things in Canada, being polite, I think, is a good reason to help out. The Americans are not being polite. They're all hiding in their windows. And Pierre, come on down. Pierre, come on down. I came to see you. Like, what are you doing up there, Pierre? Come on.
Now here Charlie Angus talks about the strength of Canadian democracy. Let's play it.
Elbows up! Elbows up!
I don't care how many times they try and tell us that we can't stand on the streets of our own cities. This is our city. This is our country, this is our democracy, and we will defend it.
Oh, this was a great part of this Toronto rally where Charlie Angus says, yeah, we're DEI, we're diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, we're the original Antifa. We hate fascists. Our parents and our grandparents fought the fascists, and we kicked their fascist asses. Play this clip.
I want to thank you for letting me crash your rally, by the way.
You got it.
But that's Canada. Wherever we go in Canada is home. And any community I've ever been in, for the first time I felt I was at home. Because that's who we are, because we are about decency. We are about inclusion. We are about tolerance. And that is why Donald Trump hates our guts. Yeah, he wants to get our water, and he wants to steal our critical minerals, but fundamentally he cannot stand that there is a nation of diversity, equity, and inclusion on his border. Now, we know DEI is like the latest thing that freaks them out, kind of like Antifa. What, being an anti-fascist? I come from a long line of anti-fascists. My uncles kicked Nazi butt all over Europe. They were Antifa before I was born. But they tell us that diversity, equity, inclusion is something they hate. Well, in Canada, we are a nation of diverse people. We believe in equity, and we believe in inclusion. So all the Americans over there with their DUI, they can hate us and they can tell us they don't want to see us on our streets, but these streets belong to us. This country belongs to us. And what gives me hope is the incredible optimism and determination of every Canadian that I meet.
Let's be real. Doing laundry kind of sucks, but you know it doesn't? Smelling amazing. That's why I'm obsessed with Laundry Sauce, the world's best-smelling laundry pods. No more clothes that smell stale and gross. Now I step out in Australian sandalwood. Let me tell you, people notice. Compliments on my laundry? Never thought that would happen. And it's not just about the scent. These pods are 4 times concentrated with serious cleaning power. They tackle stains, revive fabrics, and leave everything smelling like a high-end cologne. Oh, and if you're into fresh, clean vibes, their new Oregon Mint scent is a game changer. I literally just started a load of wash right before I recorded this with that one. It's so convenient and such high quality. What else can you ask for? Well, actually, how about this? If you put your new luxury laundry obsession on autopilot, you save an extra 15 to 20% off every order when you subscribe. And you could start right now with your first one, because right now you get 20% off your entire order at laundrysauce.com with code MeidasTouch. That's laundrysauce.com, code MeidasTouch. MEIDAS20. And after you order, tell them we sent you. Smell good, look good, feel good with Laundry Sauce.
And here I think Charlie Angus captures it all wonderfully, where he goes, you know, one of the things with Canada is we're being role models to the rest of the world right now. We're showing Europe how to do it. We're showing Australia how to do it. New Zealand. We're showing people in Africa, Central America, South America, Mexico, wherever. We've shown the model of how you stand up to the gangster Trump regime. Here, play this clip.
What gives me hope is the incredible optimism and determination of every Canadian that I meet. I don't have to ask where you're going to be between Vimy and Vichy. I know where you'll be. You'll be standing on the Ridge of Freedom with the rest of us. You are the leaders of this movement. It's not the politicians. It's ordinary Canadians. The boycott that you launched in your own actions is being heard around the world. And the rest of the world is following what we are doing in Canada. That's why they hate us. If they can make us break, they can break the rest of the world. And I just want to say in conclusion, I'm getting messages from Australia, messages from Scotland, messages from Denmark and France and all over the United States who say that they want to stand like Canada to be strong. This is what we're doing. We are a role model for the world. That's why we're not going to break. That's why they hate us. That's why we are going to continue. And that's why we will never, ever, ever be the 51st state, and why we will never kiss that gangster's ring. I don't care how many times they try and tell us that we can't stand on the streets of our own cities. This is our city. This is our country. This is our democracy, and we will defend it. Elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, elbows up.
Powerful stuff. I got to get Charlie back on and ask him about this soon. Great work, Charlie Angus. Great work to all the protesters out there. We see you all. We're grateful for you. We here stand in solidarity with you. And I want to show you this moment at the recent hearing in the Senate, where Senator Heinrich from New Mexico, Democratic senator, he does a great job questioning Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, or for her it's unintelligence, or what, just giving our secrets away to foreign adversaries at this point. I mean, based on their reckless sloppiness and dangerousness. But here in this questioning, the senator's like, I noticed in your recent report when you were saying about the dangers of fentanyl, you didn't mention that Canada was involved in any dangers by giving fentanyl. So how do you square that with all of Donald Trump's lies? Why wouldn't you put that in your report? Oh, because it's a lie. It's a Putin-style lie. It's when Putin says denazification to conquer Ukraine or to try to take it over and unlawfully invade a sovereign territory. This is Donald Trump's version of denazification. Oh, they're killing everybody with fentanyl. You know, Trump learns from Putin. I mean, but, you know, he takes his orders from Daddy Putin and Daddy Elon. Take a look at what went down here. Play this clip.
I want to ask you, Director Gabbard, something on a very different track here, which is I very much agree with the conclusion of the ATA that foreign illicit drug actors are a major threat in the United States, and many of you have spoken to this today. Is the IC wrong in its omission of Canada as a source of illicit fentanyl in the ATA? I was surprised, given some of the rhetoric, that there is no mention of Canada in the ATA.
Senator, the focus in my opening and the ATA was really to focus on the most extreme threats in that area. And our assessment is that the most extreme threat related to fentanyl continues to come from and through Mexico.
So the president has stated that the fentanyl coming through Canada is massive, and actually said it was an unusual and extraordinary threat. And that was the language that was used to justify putting tariffs on Canada. I'm just trying to reconcile those two issues. Is it an unusual and extraordinary threat, or is it a minor threat that doesn't even merit mention in the annual threat assessment?
Senator, I don't have the numbers related to Canada in front of me at this time. I'd like to get back to you on the specifics of that answer.
It's less than 1% of the fentanyl that we are able to interdict. But if you have different information, I would very much welcome that.
Great stuff. Proud that I can show you this. Incredible courage from the Canadian people. We have a huge international audience here on the MeidasTouch Network, a huge Canadian audience, the #1 podcast in Canada, the #1 podcast in many European countries as well. In Australia, big presence there, big presence in New Zealand and throughout the world. And so we're seeing what you're doing, Canada, and Canada Strong, elbows up. That's now a rallying call to the rest of the world. Thanks to you. History is going to remember the courage that you all showed. We're grateful for all of you Canadians. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.